Hi everyone. So I did do a brain hack on Monday, and what I'm doing now is I'm extending that brain hack. And so I want to talk about what we talked about in that brain hack, but I also want to know your questions. If you didn't see the brain hack, that's okay. Any questions you have on the brain, you can just go ahead and post them in the live chat. If you do have problems posting in the live chat, I think it makes a difference on whether or not you're logged into your Gmail account. If you don't have a Gmail account, you can create one and never use it and just log into it. I think that's the issue. I'm not 100% sure. We haven't completely tested it. But there's this random occurrence where people can't comment in live chat. We'll be able to, again, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and post those. But if you have issues, my email address, I'm going to type it in and also tell you, is linda@theselfcaresanctuary.com. So if you're having problems with accessing the live chat, that's the email you use. What I like to do with this extended is take it to a deeper level. So I don't want to repeat what I said on Monday. That was brain hack number 4. And you'll see this as brain hack 4 extended video. So on Monday, we were talking about the phase 1 practice of just cleaning and stuff to manage stress, but then moving into the phase 2 of organizing to stimulate prefrontal cortex. Now, this is a kickoff, really. I'm taking the brain hacks in a new direction. So we have been talking about strengthening your immune system and all this stuff about how to respond to COVID-19, how to respond to a virus at this level. What I want to start doing is leaning into this experience. So instead of just how do I manage the experience, how do I make this moment about me evolving and coming out on the other side, not just okay, not just that I managed it, but being a better, more successful person at the end of it. So we all have this opportunity. Everyone has more time right now, even if we're working. Like for me, I'm working more hours, but we all have this experience where the social connection has shut down, right? We can't go sit in a restaurant and have dinner. We can't decide to go to a movie or to an event, a play, or an athletic event or something. We can't do that right now. So all those hours we spent doing those things is now available to us. And it takes very little. I always talk about these practices are 20 minutes a day. So we all have more than 20 minutes a day. If you add up the week, just one event gives us that. One night out gives us that. And what I want to do with this is say, okay, I don't want to just manage or cope with or not be stressed during this experience. I want to figure out how to progress myself so far that I've done everything I can possibly do from home so that when I do go out into the world again, I can hit the ground running and build this great success. As we're doing, I did a little lesson on transitioning to online business. So when I was talking about that today, we were talking about how do I create this new revenue stream. So for me, it wasn't about being prepared for this when it happened. It's about the fact that it's happened. And now here's my chance to reach more people and make the change I was wanting to make anyway. So expand my reach so I can be there for more people. I just, in my heart, wish everyone on the planet could take that introduction to brain chemistry course and relieve their stress and not live in suffering. That course is free and easy. It gains me no benefit, but I just recorded something I was already doing so I could expand it to a larger reach. And now that I have these extra hours at home, I can take that reach and take it to the world at large. And I'm super excited about that. And I realized something in this as I'm doing this, because one of the things you look at when you expand what you're doing in business is who am I reaching? And I thought, so I have to decide what it is I'm presenting. And I realized I have this opportunity to share with people how to experience what's happening the way I'm experiencing it, where I'm not stressed, I'm not worried. I say I face the same financial issues everyone else does, the same risk of virus. Of course, I'm not going to get sick because of my brain health, but I I could pass it on. I do all the shopping for my parents who are, my mom's almost 80. My dad is over 80, and they live in a retirement community where everyone is that age. And so I need to go shopping for them. So I'm very careful. I'm social distancing at a big level because I don't want to risk my parents and all the people they live with, their well-being. And so as I'm looking at this, I'm saying to myself, what can I do when I'm organizing, right? I talked about that on Monday. I'm organizing. I want to lay things out in a way that I'm having that reach where possibly everyone in the world can at least have an opportunity to take that free class. A lot of people will choose not to, but if they can at least have the opportunity, I'll know I've given what I can to the world. I've given this opportunity for people to suffer less, to be stronger mentally, physically, emotionally. And that is really powerful to me. And so going online is giving me that opportunity. And we all have something. Not everybody, it's about going online. Maybe it's about finally connecting with ourselves and doing that deeper work. Maybe it's about learning how to connect with others in a different way. We're all doing that right now. I'm watching as Meetup. Meetup is where I built this business. When I quit my job and built this new Adventures being a muse, it was with Meetup. And that's where my strong following is. And I'm watching all of Meetup become virtual. All of our connections. I meet with my writing group virtually. I do game night on Saturday night with my friends virtually. I'm doing everything virtually. And I'm realizing how important that connection is. I'm realizing I miss going to hang out at a coffee shop with other writers. I miss meeting with my writing group on Sundays. I miss going to game night at my friend's house. And so this virtual connection is interesting. For some of us, we can make it be about having less, but I'm watching as people who didn't have connection before are now having an opportunity to connect. It's like this connection, this opportunity to reconnect. This is what I love about Facebook. A lot of people don't like Facebook. I love Facebook. My niece lives in New York. I only know in fact, my other niece just moved, and I only know about their lives. Even my niece that lives here in the Valley, my nephew that lives here in the Valley, I know about their lives and have opportunities to connect with them because of social media. And now there's this opportunity to sit in a space together and connect with people that are far away that I may not have connected with in a long time, just because of the way life happens, because maybe I'm not in the same space. So part of this that I'm talking about is I'm not talking about just organize your house. I mean, do, so that when this is over, your house is done. All of your home projects are done. We drove by Home Depot the other day, which was pretty full parking lot. And I'm like, oh, people are probably doing a lot of home projects. I hope they're being as aware as Costco is. What Costco is doing is really great. The way they're managing this and keeping the amount of people in the store limited, giving you sanitized carts, things like that. It's really great what they're doing. And I hope places like Home Depot are doing that. Seeing a lot of people there. But get those home projects done. Get all these things done if we have all this time. What do you want to build? What do you want to create in the world? So I posed a question on Monday that was about, if you had all the time, space, and resources that you could possibly need, what one thing would you do to serve the world? And being in this question, because next Wednesday, we are going to dig into a reverse goal setting practice, which I've never done online before. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm excited to try. And this reverse goal setting practice is going to be about, how do I put that in motion? How do I give myself just one thing to do a day? This was huge for me with business. I was feeling really overwhelmed by my business, and I really felt like I was on a hamster wheel, like I was busy all the time, but not making any progress. And I decided to stop and get organized. And I saw that I had 766 items on my to-do list as a business owner. And I will probably never get through that list. If I'm a good business owner, I won't, because there will always be another way to expand and grow my business. But what I realized is I'm not feeling successful. If I do one thing every day for 365 days, my business should be a success. So if I do one thing to make my business more successful every day for a year, of course it's going to be successful at the end of the year. And so looking at our lives that way, if I do just one thing a day, 20 minutes a day toward the future I want to create, then I will end up in that place, right? But I need to just focus on today. So what we're doing when we're asking that question of what would I do, we're going to come up with a big end of an end game picture, right? So when I ask what if I had all the time, space, and resources, unlimited to me, what one thing would I do to improve the world? It's going to be a big answer. I want us to ask big questions and big answers right now. The world needs it, right? And we want to be leaders in that. We want to help expand people out. I've been talking about this today and was saying, okay, you can be. So I always talk about tigers and gazelles. So the tiger is the thing that triggers the fight or flight response, right? So the tiger can be COVID-19. Your tiger can be being laid off work. Your tiger can be earthquakes, the earthquakes we're having in Utah. In fact, the whole area, Idaho just had a big one. So it can be that, but which gazelle are you is the question. I can't do anything about the tiger. The tiger is the tiger. But which gazelle am I? Am I the weak gazelle at the back of the pack that I feel like all this stuff is happening to me? So is all this bearing down on me? And if you feel that way, it's okay. Because maybe nothing in life ever taught you could feel any other way. Maybe it's like, well, these things are happening in the world. They're real threats. True, a tiger is a real threat. But it's not as much a threat to the gazelle that's leading the other gazelles out of danger as it is to the gazelle that's needing to be led out of danger. So we want to be the gazelle that's saying, what am I creating for this new world? What am I going to bring into form? And so that's what this is about. So here's our answer to that question. Here we're in that question that says, if I had all the time, space, and resources I needed, like unlimited supply, what one thing would I do to serve the world? And we come up with that answer. And it could be something, it could be like feed the homeless or end hunger in some world, or even in our own world here. A lot of people are hungry, that they may not be able to work or something right now. Or maybe it could be something as simple as, I need to paint. My soul needs to create, right? Whatever the thing is, that if I imagine myself with all the time, space, and resources, what would I do? We all have that answer, and it doesn't need to be big, but it does. There was a great quote I saw that said, every goal should both inspire or excite you and scare you at the same time. So we want to stretch a little, but you have that end thing, but we're not going to focus on that end thing. So when I do the goal setting practice with you, we're going to bring it back to saying, okay, what one thing can I do today? So when I'm looking at those 766 goals and I'm doing one thing a day, that's where my growth is, right? So I'm down to, I think, close to 700 now. The 766 is down. I'm actually adding new things, but those new things consolidate different goals. So it's great. I'm getting more streamlined. But if I'm doing each one of those, I don't have to get through the whole 700. I just need to say I'm doing one thing per day. And so I'm going to walk through a practice next week on the brain hack of how to have that goal set and how to connect that to this moment and what I'm doing in this moment that's not focused on that goal. And it's brilliant how it works. I've worked with a lot of people that have created tremendous things. People who've used this process, the Homeless Day facility downtown, went from inception to doors opening in 6 months by someone who did this process. Also a holistic rehab facility, from inception to doors opening in 7 months through this process. And opening a rehab facility is a big deal. That's really quick response. So this is about making big things in an easy way, when we're not trying to force them or create them from what we know, but we're using vision and we're using this deeper, this expanded brain to be able to create it. So we're going to be doing that next week, but and this week we want to focus on what would that thing be? What do I want to create? What excites me and scares me just a little? It doesn't have to scare me big. And I may just even be excited. But what's that thing I've always wanted to create that I didn't feel brave enough to, or like I had the capability or resources to create? That's the other thing, is once we step into it, you can't organize your life to live your vision. That's outside in. Nature happens from the inside out. So you can't organize your life so that you can be you. Every single thing we want in the world, we want because of who we think we'll be if we get it. So if you want money or relationships or even this thing you're going to create, it's not the money or relationship or thing you want. It's who you think you'll be if you get that money, relationship, or thing. If I have this relationship, I think I'll be able to relax a little. If I have money, I'll have security, or I can finally create that thing. But we can't get all that in order. 7.5 billion people won't cooperate with our goal, right? Instead, what we do is step into the purpose, and then everything organizes itself. When I stepped into being a muse 4 years ago, I just stepped into it. I had no plan. It's been a moment by moment, led by inspiration experience. And this is good because now I have resources that I didn't know were available because my mind is open. If I think, there's a great quote from Joseph Campbell where he says, if you know perfectly your path, if your path is laid out clearly before you, it's not your path. Your path is created one step at a time, and it is behind you. That's why it's your path, right? So we're in this process of creating a whole new human. And the people who raised us didn't know how to teach us how to do that because we're creating a whole new human. We don't know how to do that because we're creating a whole new human. It's taken one step at a time, one creation at a time, one outpouring. What expression am I going to put out? And so this practice will help us do that, but we need to know what we want to express to begin the practice, to be able to set something within recognizable terms to the brain. Because again, always what we're doing is taking that expansive, infinite ideas, things that are we can't even comprehend, and we're bringing them into comprehension. We're articulating them so that we can bring them into form. Because I can daydream about the genius of the universe all day long. I can sit out there and go, wow, it's so amazing what's possible. But if I don't bring that possibility into my existence, it doesn't improve my life. That's why I always say meditation without articulation does not progress us forward. It's a vacation. It becomes that thing that's a moment of stillness in a life of chaos, rather than living a life of stillness and easily managing chaos. So to set that in motion, we want to discover what that thing is. So that's our focus this week, is getting organized, deciding what do I want to create, doing little things around the house to get prepared, preparing ourselves for our greatness, right? So we know things to do around the house, but we also want to be in contemplation of what's that bigger thing I want to do. And that's mostly just setting up next week's brain hack, which is all about dopamine and healthy dopamine. Dopamine's really tied to unhealthy things. I want to make a lot more clarity about that and talk about how to stimulate it so that we can be healthier, happier, emotionally, mentally, physically, and we can be that lead gazelle, create something big in the world. So starting out with that, all that brain hack information from Monday and where we're going this week. One of the things I want to do is open up. I'll still talk a bit, but I want to open up for questions. This is how the brain hacks will work. You can ask questions in the live chat. You can send questions to Linda at the Self-Care Sanctuary, and you can send questions all week, and I'll address them during the brain hack. What I want to do is give us a few moments that if anybody has a question, you can answer it. While I'm waiting for that, I'm going to describe in detail the question I set up on Monday so that everybody knows what they're going into. And then please, over the week, send questions through any social media. You can send them on Facebook. You can send messages on Instagram, Facebook, Linda Forrest Muse. Also have the private group, Inspired Evolution Project there. Link to the Inspired Evolution Project group on my website next to the menu, inspiredevolutionproject.com. Also, besides the email, you could do Instagram. I'm Linda Forrest Muse on Instagram. And you can put questions in the comments on YouTube, on this video even after. If you comment on the video after I've edited it and resaved it, those questions will remain. So from that space, I'm just open. If you have any questions at all that have anything to do with the brain, they don't need to be on this topic specifically. I'm happy to answer those. And while I give you that opportunity, I'm going to go deeper into this question. So the way I set up this question is taking a moment, a meditative moment. You want to give yourself at least 5 to 10 minutes to do this. It's good to sit in it. It's in Lit Up right now. I am offering Lit Up for free right now until October 1st. So the next 6 months, Lit Up is free. Lit Up's fantastic. You can find it in the store or in the course menu under education on the website, but it gives you a daily inspiration, 2 video lessons a month, and then 4 exercises a month. So an exercise, 2 per video lesson. It's really fantastic. And the process of going through this question is on there in a contemplative process. So that's an option. Just log into Lit Up and answer the questions there. And this part's done. You're ready to go into the next part. So the first thing we're doing is we're saying, if I had all the time in the world, and the way I want you to think of this is to imagine that you don't have to go to work. Your personal responsibilities are all taken care of by someone. You wake up every day and you have 24 hours in that day to do with whatever you want. And maybe it's like that for weeks or months or years where I have all the time I could possibly need. Everything else in my life is taken care of. And then imagining, along with all that time, you have all the space you could possibly need. So you have land or buildings, or maybe personal space, all the space you could possibly need. So you have all the time and all the space. And now you're going to imagine you have all the resources you could need, which is you have all of the money. You have financial backers backing you with unlimited amounts of finances. You have people to help you implement what you want. You have people that are interested in participating in what you have to give. That your resources, no matter what it is you need, they're available. So here you are, waking up in the morning with all the time, space, and resources you could possibly ever imagine needing. What one thing would you do to serve the world? What would you do with that day? What would you give? What would you create? Who would you be? So answering that question is going to be what we use for next week's brain hack. So next week's brain hack, again, will happen at 6. We'll go through a reverse goal setting process from 6 to 6:50, also leaving time up for any questions. And so if anybody posts any questions during the week, I'll address those as well. We'll do that until 6:50. And then for those people that want to be part of the community of connecting on Zoom, you can join the advanced practices content. It's for sale on the website. Again, coupons will be in there, videos that are available for just you. And this Sunday, we will be having our first Zoom meeting, and the URL will be in there so that people, so we know who's showing up. There are people that are advanced in the process. So the meeting, and if you're new to the process, but you're ready to be in a deeper conversation. So say you're brand new to this and you're like, wow, I want to be part of that group, but I'm one of those new people. In conjunction with being part of the group, take the Intro to Brain Chemistry course, the free course, and get yourself educated, and then just come and participate in the group and observe what people are talking about. And just know that in time, those questions that you have in your mind, they will be answered. What we're really talking about in this advanced stuff is moving beyond just rest and digest, just calming the brain. Most of the things available to us out there are there to calm the brain, but they don't actually shrink the amygdala. As we move into prefrontal cortex and mindfulness practices, the amygdala begins to shrink. But we want to move beyond that. We want to start strengthening the striatum and this communication between the left and right hemisphere of the brain. This is vital. And then once we've built that communication, we want to start growing the insula, which will then shrink the amygdala, turn it off, and our threat response will no longer be fear, it'll be ingenuity. So when the worst happens, we won't respond with being afraid. We'll respond with ideas. Oh, this is what we can do. It's about living intuitively all the time, not accessing intuition, not having it be something that's separate from us, but something that is a day-to-day, moment-to-moment life. It's the way like I said, the way I'm experiencing this, everything that's happened with this. I have no fear response. I'm just going, okay, what do we need to do? How do we help people? And we want to use that ingenuity without the fear, and also feel confident and feel like that lead gazelle. Not only am I not afraid, but I can lead people. I can lead people from their fear. And so that's what we'll be doing. We will be digging into that deeper. This is really about wrapping our head around the brain in a different way. No longer thinking of it as any response is organic and inevitable, that we can respond to any situation in a different way. Bombs going off around us, and we can just be centered and clear and say, no, I don't know why there are bombs, but we're going to be okay. I have confidence in that because I have confidence in my ability to lead us, to help us be okay. Because there are a lot of people out there in the world panicking. We need strong gazelles in the world right now. Now is the time more than ever to improve brain function. I've had people calling me for sessions all the time now that are saying to me, Linda, I feel horrible. I've been doing your work for a year or doing this work, and I haven't done my practices. And I should have been, because this would be much easier. And I'm like, you know what? Worrying about what we didn't do in the past doesn't matter. Let's do it today. Do practices today. Phase 1 and 2 practices are available for free on the website. Even a list of beginning phase 3 practices is in that on those free videos, these brain hacks. If you're looking for all the brain hacks, first of all, I'm going to suggest to people subscribe to my channel. The last 20 minutes of the last 20 seconds of this video, when I close it out, will have a subscribe button. There's probably a subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen right now. If you subscribe, YouTube will not ping you with a bunch of information. It'll just make it really easy to find my videos. If you want to be pinged and want YouTube to notify you when I'm live or when I upload new content, you can hit the little bell notification, and then you'll get a notice to your phone that you can turn on or off at any time by just clicking that bell. Also, the videos are available on my website. So if you go to articles and videos page, you can watch the videos there. So I think that's everything. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare to log off. And if anybody has any questions about these resources and how they work, just let me know. Just reach out. I'm happy to help. I'm really excited about this opportunity this is giving me to reach everyone. I've been in the meetup community, which is very local, right? Meetup is about regional, people in my neighborhood. And now I get to go share what I've learned and how I'm experiencing life with the world, and hopefully have everyone be able to feel better and feel, because no matter how good it gets, you may have this spectacular, perfect life, but we can always improve the brain, and life can always get better. No matter how bad it seems or how good it gets, it can get better. And it's easy to make it better when we know how to control our brain function. So I'm going to call that good for tonight. So this is a great opportunity. So again, send me your questions. I'll address them next week. Wednesday at 6 p.m. we'll be here. I will also be live 9 a.m. on Sunday to do a meditation with you to set your Sunday off to a great centered beginning. And then again, I'll be back here next Wednesday. So I'm just really hope everybody has an amazing night, that you feel inspired and engaged and ready to expand yourself in this process that can feel challenging. So however you do decide to move forward, I wish you tremendous success on your journey.